della Commissione anche tramite la piattaforma Zoom, quindi prego i colleghi che seguiranno via streaming di notificare o attraverso la piattaforma o su WhatsApp ai funzionari venire. È stato attivato il servizio di interpretariato e quindi anche i commissari collegati da remoto potranno accedere al canale italiano premendo il pulsante in basso a destra dello schermo e selezionando la lingua. Comunico altresì che è stata disposta la pubblicità dei nostri lavori ai sensi dell'articolo 33,4 del regolamento del Senato mediante trasmissione audio-video. Quindi io darei la parola al Vice Segretario Generale Mr. Atul Khare. Grazie.
Egregi membri del Parlamento italiano, desidero esprimere la mia gratitudine a tutti voi per avermi invitato a partecipare a questo dialogo oggi. È un grande piacere per me essere qui. President of the Foreign Affairs and Defense Committee, Honorable Ms. Stefania Craxi, distinguished senators, I'm afraid I will have to continue in English. In his address to the Parliament in December 2019, the Secretary General of the United Nations, my boss, Antonio Guterres, commended Italy's long-standing commitment to the United Nations, emphasizing its contributions to peace operations and its hosting of UN institutions. As the Under-Secretary General responsible for providing operational support to the United Nations peace operations and other entities, and as a grateful recipient of your hospitality to my department's Global Service Center in Brindisi, I want to strongly echo the Secretary General's praise to Italy. I am very proud of what we have been able to achieve to provide strong support to peace operations and reduce the environmental footprint of those operations. And today, I would like to share some highlights of the work we have done together. Our partnership has been good for the people of the world, good for the United Nations, and I hope you will agree, good for Italy. And that, therefore, it should continue and should be strengthened. In 1994, the United Nations established a logistics base in Brindisi to support UN operations in Balkans. We chose Brindisi because of its strategic location, its capacities, human and structural, and its excellent facilities. Today, that logistics base has grown into a global service center, serving all UN peace operations worldwide, a fluctuating number of some 30 missions of differing size and complexity, involving close to 90,000 uniformed and civilian personnel in some of the most inaccessible areas of the world, places where the quality of support and equipment and the amount of time needed to deploy it can mean the difference between success and failure in protecting civilians and the difference between life and death of UN personnel. Through the Global Service Center, my department supports missions from startup to closure, remotely and on the ground. We provide engineering and environmental services, geospatial mapping, and IT connectivity. Just as an example, during last year, 2022, we provided engineering planning and design support and technical advice to 32 UN entities worldwide, representing a volume of projects worth over $282.5 million US. We manage an engineering innovation hub which prototypes, displays, customizes new solutions based on field needs, such as containerized solar power plants or containerized generator repair workshops for rapid mission deployment. Our engineers deploy to provide assistance on the ground. The last request received for engineering support is for an assessment of UN buildings and offices in the aftermath of the earthquake in Turkey and Syria. We assist with environmental impact assessments before a mission deploys and with environmental cleanup when a mission closes, and provide technical assistance throughout its lifespan. GSC staff have provided direct assistance on the ground to the International Atomic Energy inspectors in their missions to nuclear power plant at Zaporizhia. We host UN critical systems at the core of functions such as procurement and recruitment. We connect 65,000 email users worldwide. We have a 24/7 control center for monitoring and addressing incidents in connectivity and communication. We provide digital technology services to nearly 100 UN entities. And the current customer satisfaction rate with GSC, your GSC, our GSC, is 96.59%. So we are doing a good job. GSC also houses the Strategic Air Operations Center, which supports medical evacuations, troop rotations, and special strategic flights for cargo and passengers. During the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, the Department of Operational Support established the UN system-wide Medivac mechanism, which completed 356 medical evacuations of COVID-19 patients from 62 countries to 26 different treatment locations. This allowed UN staff in locations lacking medical facilities to stay and deliver during the pandemic, knowing that they would be taken care of if they fell ill. The Strategic Air Operations Center, in collaboration with WHO and WFP, coordinated air ambulance flights for 324 of these 356 medical evacuations. Very critical number. We provide equipment from armored vehicles and medical supplies to satellites and handheld radios. During the pandemic, we shipped over $11.5 million worth of medical goods to 38 field missions and entities across 5 continents. We developed first line of defense kits with the Development Coordination Office and the World Food Programme to help UN country teams stay and deliver where medical care was lacking, acquiring and providing more than $500,000 of equipment to 17 countries. We provided blood supply to field missions. And we also contribute to the blood drives organized whenever needed in the city or the region of Brindisi and, of course, in the region of Pupia. We keep strategic deployment stocks in Brindisi, which allows us to provide urgently needed equipment quickly, even when supply is scarce and demand difficult to predict. This saves taxpayer money by protecting us from cost fluctuations when the demand and supply do not match. Last year, we were able to deploy armored vehicles, very difficult to procure quickly and very expensive, to both UN missions in Haiti and to the UN team in Ukraine, virtually simultaneously. We provided nearly $1 million in support to the Ukraine theater, rapidly deploying 21 civilian armored vehicles, personal protective equipment, and other supplies from the strategic deployment stock via convoy, which was also assisted by the president of Pupia, who provided us the security escort right up to the Poland border. Since the start of the pandemic, we have provided more than $16 million of strategic deployment stocks in both equipment and consumables for the COVID-19 response, such as ventilators, respirators, oxygen cylinders, X-ray machines, incinerators, personal protective equipment, and test kits. Another cost-saving measure developed at the GSC is our circular supply chain, or 3R program. In this, we take heavy equipment with high acquisition value and low utilization, return them from one mission, refurbish them, and deploy to another mission for reuse. And this is a 3R: return, refurbish, reuse. This also reduces inventory emissions and increases the utilization rate of high-value assets. Again, for example, heavy engineering equipment from UNAMID, our mission in Darfur, was refurbished and is being sent to missions in Democratic Republic of Congo, Syria, Central African Republic, and Mali. The total cost avoidance on these 4 missions alone is nearly $1 million, or to be exact, $937,000 US. We also provide solutions from energy self-sufficient IT rooms to platforms that allow us to remotely monitor the functioning of our infrastructure and our environmental footprint. Now, we are working to expand the reach of the center by leveraging its expertise in engineering, IT, and environmental management to benefit a broader range of clients beyond peacekeeping, to include the rest of the UN system as well as other UN partners such as the African Union and the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, OSCE. Distinguished senators, members of the committee, Italy's continued investment in GSC has made our work more efficient and more effective. Thank you. Grazie. Our partnership with the local government and academic institutions has been mutually invigorating and is growing in exciting ways. Brindisi has given the United Nations a welcoming and supportive home, and we have brought the world to Brindisi with all its enriching multicultural and multilingual diversity. The center today employs 283 Italian nationals, representing approximately 2/3, 63% of our total workforce. In addition, over the last 5 years, more than $52 million has been awarded in contracts to Italian vendors to more than 350 commercial suppliers from across almost 50 provinces. The GSC has therefore benefited the world, the United Nations, and Italy. I would also like to recognize, Madam Chair, Italy's strong commitment to environment and to combating climate change. 6 years ago, we launched a strategy to address UN legacy of underperformance in environmental management of peace operations. Italy has been a key partner and friend in this endeavor from day one through many means. First, mobilizing other member states through a group of friends, co-chaired by my dear friend, sitting here to my right, Ambassador Maurizio Massari, your permanent representative to the United Nations. Second, providing inspiration, mandate language, expertise, and resources, both in my own office at UN headquarters and at the Global Service Center. Third, your Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Defense, and Environment and Energy and Security have all contributed to this effort. And together, we have reduced the risk from wastewater, reduced waste, increased energy efficiency, and sought to have a positive impact wherever we can. Just again as an example, when we launched the strategy, the proportion of sites where wastewater risk was considered minimum was only 35%. Today, it is more than double. It is more than 70%. A key element of our approach was a focus on reliable data to drive performance. And here too, I have Italy to thank for providing the inspiration which came when I saw a screen in one of your ministries that showed exactly how much carbon was being saved through environmental initiatives at that location. And so we built on this concept in peace operations to design a system whereby we now report on 100 indicators across every single peacekeeping site and camp. When we launched the environment strategy for field operations, 30% of the data we were using to analyze our environmental performance was just estimated, tentative. Today, more than 75% of the data that we collect is actually measured, and this proportion continues to increase over time. This has allowed us to demonstrate the progress we are making and identify priorities for improvement. I'm very proud of what we have achieved together in this area, but as we look to the future, I also see that there is much that we can still achieve. An area where we had progress, although at a slower rate, than we would like has been renewable energy. Peacekeeping operations account for 60% of the carbon footprint of the UN Secretariat. When we launched the strategy 6 years ago, only 3% of electricity in peace operations was obtained from renewable sources. It has since doubled, but still, today it is only 6%, very low figure. In peacekeeping, as you know, renewable energy is valuable for operational resilience and security, as well as in terms of footprint. It can save lives, as the transition to renewable energy reduces the need for fuel convoys, which are subject to tragically frequent asymmetrical attacks in some of our missions. So here too, we need to do more and to do more quickly. We need to increase our focus on renewable energy, and we need to find ways to leave a positive legacy through the investments we make through our facilities and infrastructure footprint. Here again, we need Italy to partner with us. To partner with us to help us mobilize other member states, to partner with us to provide financial support, personnel and other resources, and to partner with us to help us by upgrading the GSC facilities and enabling us to be more innovative regarding sustainable technology, supply chain management, engineering, and ICT. Together, we can and we will have a greater impact in promoting global peace and security. Distinguished senators, I think the facts speak for themselves. The partnership in support operations between Italy and the United Nations has been beneficial to all. We have been able to address some of the most pressing global issues and emergencies for the benefit of those in need. We have been able to do so far better with your support than we would have done otherwise. Italy's contributions have also contributed to Italy's well-deserved reputation as a global leader and to the development of one of its important cities in the south, Brindisi. Together, we are stronger in the struggle for peace, security, and development, and, of course, struggle for respect of human rights everywhere. I want to thank you for allowing me to address you today. Before I conclude, Madam Chair, with your permission, if I can break from protocol to acknowledge the presence in my delegation of the first woman director of the Global Service Center and the first Italian national to hold that position, Ms. Giovanna Scegli, who is sitting here. And we are grateful for this official contribution of Italy through Giovanna to the work of the United Nations. Madam President, I will of course be happy to take any questions that you might have, but before I conclude, as I try to begin in your great language, allow me to say a few words which really express my feelings. Grazie dal profondo del mio cuore. That is all that I can say. Thank you.
L'Italia si conferma un paese che ha una grande generosità, un paese che spesso lavora in favore del sistema internazionale senza avere una seconda agenda. Di questo dobbiamo andare orgogliosi. Qualcuno dei colleghi senatori ha qualche domanda da fare? No. Allora possiamo ritenere conclusa l'audizione. Ringraziamo moltissimo il Vice Segretario Generale, ringraziamo l'Ambasciatore Massari. Vuole aggiungere qualcosa, Ambasciatore?
Posso brevemente, grazie Presidente per avermi dato la parola, credo che il Sottosegretario Khare abbia detto tutto. C'è un'eccellente partnership tra Italia e Nazioni Unite che si concretizza su many piani, e tra questi piani c'è appunto la presenza sul territorio italiano di importanti poli onusiani, e tra questi poli e il Global Service Center di Brindisi, la base logistica di Brindisi, ha un ruolo particolare. Posso soltanto dire che insieme al sottosegretario Khare l'abbiamo visitata ieri e era la mia prima volta che visitavo la base ed è effettivamente un fiore all'occhiello della presenza italiana, della presenza dell'ONU in Italia. Riconcilia, diciamo, delle expertise, management, tecnologia di altissimo livello e serve non soltanto le operazioni di mantenimento della pace del mondo, ma anche fornisce beni e servizi all'insieme del sistema delle Nazioni Unite. Diciamo che senza il funzionamento così efficace di questa base, le Nazioni Unite avrebbero molto meno efficacia operativa. E naturalmente mi associo ai ringraziamenti per la nostra eccellente direttrice Giovanna Ceglia. C'è un impegno molto forte del governo, della rappresentanza permanente per valorizzare e rafforzare ulteriormente questa base per farne davvero un centro di servizi globale al vantaggio del sistema delle Nazioni Unite. Quindi grazie molto.
Grazie ambasciatore Massari. Io una domanda ce l'avrei, ma la base di Brindisi serve globalmente tutte le missioni ONU in tutto il mondo o solamente in quest'area geografica? In tutto il mondo. Grazie. Grazie colleghi, ringrazio ancora i nostri ospiti. Concludiamo l'audizione di oggi.